A subtle, telling glance across the room at a white-tie state reception can expose structural fractures that months of careful public relations cannot hide. When whispers began spreading through palace corridors regarding access to the historic Royal Collection Vault, few anticipated how swiftly the Prince of Wales would intervene. Reports indicate that a quiet dispute over high-profile diamond headpieces exposed a growing rift between Queen Camilla and the Princess of Wales. But when Prince William reportedly stepped in to draw a firm line regarding protocol, he sent an unmistakable signal about who holds the future authority of the British Crown. To understand why a disagreement over historic jewelry carries such severe political consequences, one must examine complex rules governing the British royal family ceremonial heirlooms. For centuries, the royal jewelry collection has functioned as far more than personal adornment. These items serve as physical instruments of statecraft, symbols of continuity, and visual representations of the monarch's supreme authority. The management of these priceless artifacts falls under the umbrella of the Royal Collection Trust, the official department and charitable trust responsible for overseeing hundreds of thousands of historic treasures, royal heirlooms, and masterworks on behalf of the nation and the sovereign. Within this vast repository rests the Royal Vault, a heavily secured repository housing tiaras, brooches, and neckpieces worn during formal diplomatic engagements. Among these engagements, none demand greater adherence to tradition than white-tie state banquets and diplomatic receptions. These events, hosted at Buckingham Palace or Windsor Castle, represent the absolute peak of formal royal protocol, requiring male royals to wear full-dress tailcoat with orders and medals, while royal women wear formal evening gowns adorned with official sashes, family orders, and historic tiaras. Under the 70-year reign of Queen Elizabeth II, access to these glittering treasures was governed by strict personal oversight. Queen Elizabeth personally managed loans from her personal collection in the historic vault, using these grants as subtle indicators of favor, rank, and trust. When Lady Diana Spencer married the future King Charles in 1981, Queen Elizabeth famously granted her the long-term loan of the Cambridge Lover's Knot Tiara, a breathtaking diamond and pearl piece designed in 1913 for Queen Mary. Following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, the custodial authority over these state jewels shifted to the new monarch, King Charles III, with Queen Camilla assuming symbolic oversight as Queen Consort. In formal monarchical structure, the reigning queen or queen consort holds primary influence over the scheduling and allocation of royal vault loans for major public appearances. However, the reality of a modernizing royal household requires balancing the traditional prerogatives of the queen consort with the rising global prominence of the Princess of Wales. Catherine, whose public image and flawless execution of royal duties have made her one of the most recognizable faces of the modern monarchy, has built a deeply resonant visual signature around specific historic pieces, most notably the Lover's Knot Tiara, the very piece so intimately connected with Prince William's late mother. If you value deep, well-researched insights into the real power dynamics shaping the modern House of Windsor, take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an analysis. The delicate balance within the palace was tested when reports began circulating regarding revised administrative procedures surrounding vault requests. Royal correspondents noted that following the coronation, the internal process for requesting historic pieces for diplomatic appearances underwent a noticeable tighten. Insiders suggest that new guidelines were introduced requiring increased formal clearance for senior royal women seeking specific pieces from collection. Sources close to the palace suggest that these administrative updates were presented as routine cataloging and security measures designed to streamline access. But beneath the formal administrative language lay a clear shift in authority. Tensions mounted ahead of a major diplomatic event at Buckingham Palace. During preparations for the state event, standard administrative communication regarding jewelry selection reportedly ran into unexpected friction. Reports indicate that Queen Camilla's office reasserted supervisory control over which item could be removed from a vault, raising questions about whether long-standing informal loan arrangements for Catherine would remain intact. For years, Catherine had enjoyed direct, seamless access to a select group of tiaras that complemented her formal wardrobe and reflected her elevated standing as future queen. Among these were the lotus flower tiara, a delicate pearl and diamond headpiece originally owned by the Queen Mother, and the iconic Lover's Knot. When palace staff communicated that certain pieces might be reserved or subject to newly enforced Queen Consort approval protocols, the reaction inside Kensington Palace was immediate. Sources suggest that Catherine viewed this unexpected bureaucratic hurdle not merely as an inconvenience, but as a subtle attempt to assert dominance over her public image and visual identity. Throughout her years in the royal family, Catherine has consistently maintained an impeccable standard of poise, avoiding personal drama and adhering strictly to constitutional decorum. Yet, body language experts and royal observers who watched her during subsequent public appearances noted a distinct firmness in her demeanor. Her composure remained unbreakable on the outside, but behind closed doors, a critical boundary was being tested. The situation reached a turning point when Prince William became directly involved. William has long been intensely protective of his wife's position and well-being within the institutional hierarchy of the firm. Having witnessed the immense pressure and internal political battles that impacted his mother, Princess Diana, William has consistently demonstrated zero tolerance for actions that he perceives as attempts to marginalize Catherine. When informed of the new bureaucratic hurdles surrounding vault access, William reportedly sought a direct conversation with senior palace administrators in King Charles's private office. The meeting was described by palace insiders as quiet, controlled, and deeply intense. Short sentences best capture the atmosphere of that decisive moment. The room fell silent. No voices were raised. The message was unmistakable. William drew an absolute line. He made it abundantly clear that the Princess of Wales's access to historical pieces tied to her role as future queen was non-negotiable. William reportedly insisted that established protocols governing Catherine's ceremonial wardrobe must remain under her independent discretion, free from arbitrary administrative friction or last-minute vetoes. What followed was not reported widely, but palace aides quickly realized that the Prince of Wales was exercising his considerable weight as heir to the throne to protect the autonomy of his household. King Charles found himself in a delicate constitutional position. As sovereign, he must maintain the dignity of his queen consort while simultaneously safeguarding the stability and morale of his direct heir. Charles understands better than anyone the catastrophic fallout that internal family friction can cause to the reputation of the monarchy. Recognizing the strength of William's conviction and the crucial public role that Catherine fulfills, the king reportedly instructed royal archivists and vault managers to reaffirm clear, uninterrupted access for the Princess of Wales. The administrative restrictions were quietly set aside, ensuring that Catherine's access to the royal collection remained entirely secure. Here is what most coverage missed during the sensational headlines that followed. The real story was never about sparkling diamonds or vanity. It was about the shifting balance of power within an ancient institution undergoing an inevitable generational transition. In the British monarchy, visual branding is constitutional policy. Every jewel, dress, and official photograph carries intent, sending carefully calibrated signals to the nation and the international diplomatic corps about order, stability, and precedence. When the public watches a royal state banquet, they see a magnificent display of grandeur, historic tiaras shimmering under chandelier light, and flawless diplomatic smiles. They do not see the weeks of strategic maneuvering, political negotiation, and internal protocol debates required to produce that seamless image. The confrontation over vault access highlighted a fundamental tension that has existed throughout royal history, the overlap between the current sovereign's court and the court of the heir apparent. Queen Camilla's position as queen consort commands immense respect and traditional prerogative. She has worked tirelessly to build a respected public profile through a commitment to literacy, supporting survivors of domestic violence, and standing firmly beside King Charles during his reign and health challenges. Naturally, as queen, she holds legal and traditional stewardship over the royal household ceremonial assets. Yet, Catherine represents something entirely distinct, the long-term future of the monarchy. Her global popularity, youth, and effortless command of modern royal diplomacy make her the crown's most valuable asset in maintaining public relevance. The timing of this was not accidental. As the royal family continues to streamline its working members following the departure of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and the retirement of Prince Andrew, the core operational burden rests squarely on four individuals: Charles, Camilla, William, and Catherine. In such a tightly concentrated hierarchy, any attempt to shift authority or restrict prestige creates immediate ripples. That silence carried more weight than any statement could, signaling to palace officials that Prince William will actively shape the conditions under which his wife serves the institution. This quiet struggle also reflects Prince William's broader leadership style as he prepares for his eventual reign. Unlike previous generations of royals who often deferred passively to court administrators and senior palace courtiers, William operates with a decisive, modern corporate approach. He is protective, strategic, and acutely aware of how every palace decision impacts public perception. By stepping in directly to resolve the Volt issue, William established a firm precedent. The Prince and Princess of Wales operate as equal partners in the royal firm, with an authoritative voice in all matters affecting their official standing. In the months following the incident, subtle changes in palace operations became visible to seasoned royal watchers. When Catherine made her triumphant appearances at major state occasions, her selection of historic jewelry remained as striking and authoritative as ever. Wearing iconic pieces with effortless grace, she delivered a masterclass in visual diplomacy that reassured the public and reinforced the continuity of the monarchy. Behind the scenes, the protocol guidelines governing the royal collection were refined to ensure that both the Queen's office and the Princess of Wales's household operate with clear, mutual independence. But that detail changes everything. It demonstrates that the modern royal family, despite its deep respect for ancient tradition, is undergoing profound realignment of internal authority. Prince William has demonstrated that he will not hesitate to challenge established court bureaucracy or internal palace politics if he believes it is necessary to protect his family and preserve the long-term dignity of his future reign. As the House of Windsor navigates the complex demands of the modern era, moments like these reveal the human realities behind the ceremonial facade. The monarchy may present a picture of timeless stability to the world, but inside its ancient walls, authority is constantly negotiated, protected, and defined. Ultimately, this quiet victory for the Prince and Princess of Wales proves that while tradition provides the crown with its foundation, it is a decisive strength of its future leaders that ensures its survival.